Hey y'all, I'm not here to talk too long. If you come across this video, whatever. So, I had a conversation today with a black male, a paramedic slash vet. You know, the paramedics in the streets, huh? But he made me realize something. You know, the conversation was, at first it was about like police brutality and what it did to a specific other cop. It was a black cop, and he supposedly was some bad cop or whatever. Doesn't justify the fact that he was murdered and innocent people were injured because they were trying to murder him. Like, they really just let loose on any car that might have been his car and hurt other people. Doesn't justify the fact that happened at all. But, you know, I was speaking to him. I was like, let me try my approach differently with this guy. I had started to do that little by little with certain people, like regardless of race. I was just like, let me just approach this person with hey queen. I just told myself, hey y'all that just joined, I'm talking about this conversation I had with a black male paramedic. We were talking about police brutality, and his morale was just off for me at first. But then, look at this, all these tears drying on my face. But, like, he made me realize something about myself and how I want to approach this. Like, after we met on a common ground, understanding, like, no, I'm not saying this was right. This isn't right. We shouldn't be dying like this. Blah, blah, blah. It came to a point where he just sat and listened to me. He just listened to me. And I didn't realize how, like, as many of y'all people that are actually wanting to sit and listen to me, I didn't feel heard. Like, no offense. No, if it offends you, whatever. Get over it. I'm sorry if it offends you, because I want to be a nice person. But at the same time, if it offends you that I don't feel heard, it's my feelings. Whatever. You're entitled to how you feel. But I didn't feel heard until I was sitting and talking to this black man. This black man who I didn't think had the same morals as I did. Like, I didn't believe he understood what it was, that it was just unjust. It wasn't right to kill a black cop. Even if he was a bad cop, it just wasn't right to kill him before he got to, like, go to court or whatever. It just wasn't right. We met on a common ground, and he sat and listened to me, and I just vented. And I was like, wow. He made me realize my anger. I am angry, and it's okay to be angry. It's absolutely fine. I have a right to be angry, and no one can tell me not to be angry. Ever. But, no, not but, and I'm not the type of person to be angry all the time. I don't like it. It's draining. It's exhausting to be angry. Do you think we like to be mad? Do people think that black people just like to be mad all the time? We don't. We want to sing. We want to dance. We want to just live our lives. I want to just experience people be happy around me. I just want to see happiness. I want to see peace. And me wanting that so badly resulted in my anger. But then it made me realize that I'm just really hurt. I'm hurt. And if you can't understand why people are angry, then understand that people are hurt. And that's why we result to anger. Black people, I made a post about that earlier. We haven't been taught how to emote ourselves. We were always on guard. Black people are always on guard, and we have to be in this country. We have to be in order to survive. And that's the hard part about this whole situation. We don't want to be mad. We don't want to be hurt. We don't want to have to talk about being black. We want to just be human. We want to exist. We want to live. We want to love our families. We want to love the people around us. We just want to love, you know? But he also, like, with him just sitting and listening, he made me realize, like, I don't want to be angry. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you deserve to be popped off on, I'm going to pop off on you. No remorse. None. Especially me. If I'm popping off on you, you deserved it. I'm not the type to. I like to see peace. I don't want violence. If it results to it, way of life. That's the way of life. Earth sucks. I don't want violence. I don't want anger. I don't want people being hurt. I don't want people to cry. I'm tired of this. But all that, not but, and all that is just to say, like, I noticed my presentation of how I'm emoting myself. What? Why the S, Romana? Damn. How I'm emoting myself. I'm not sorry for it. I do recognize that there's a different method I can use that I have used in the past, but obviously it's tiring to be so loving and receptive all the time. It really is. It's exhausting because people just say, if you look down my post about me saying anything and you see the people that white-splain things on that's the result of me being loving and receptive all the time. Now I'm understanding where the balance is. I've tried being loving. I've tried being angry. I haven't tried. I just was this and I was that. It's the phase of being hurt. It's the phase of just seeing all this stuff. Growing up in a household where I didn't know race. I wasn't taught race until I left the house and had to see that stuff and learn about black history in this country. I'm like, whoa. And then seeing that it happened in my history too, I was like, whoa, that hurts. I'm mad. I didn't know that it was just because I'm hurt. I just knew I was mad. Now, if black people didn't have all this burden on them from generation to generation, maybe I would have known my emotion. Maybe I would have known as a black person that I was hurt and I want love. You know? We consider love as something weak, or we consider it as just soft and something that we can't have because we have to protect ourselves. We can't show too much love because we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our children. That reminded me of this post that was talking about, like, how when someone tells a white woman, hey, your son Johnny is like amazing, and she's like, yes, he is, he does this and that. But a black woman, when she said, hey, your son Johnny is amazing, she goes, he's okay. It's not that she's looking down on her son. She has to protect him from you feeding off of him, like sucking all of that out of him, like exploiting him, you know? Like all that misunderstanding of how to emote. So all this is to say, I'm going to try to take an approach of not love, but just of love. Of course, everything is love with me. But like more gentleness to those who are deserving of it, of course. Like, I ain't a killer, but don't push me type thing. So, if I'm being kind with you, and I want to have a conversation with you, because part of change is to have the conversation. Some people just don't know. We don't have to. It's not my job to teach you. Don't get me misunderstood. It's not my job. You have multiple avenues of how you can learn. I don't have to teach you. But if I know you're like sincere, you're about it, you're about the change, you're about the cause, I will sit and talk with you about it. Now, there will be times when I might say something that may seem rude to you, but try to understand it. Like, sometimes I have to be rude for you to feel the hurt. Because I understand, she's not misunderstanding the situation. She just doesn't feel the hurt. So now, feel this hurt. How did you like that? That's what I go through every day. That's what my kids will have to go through. That's what my parents go through. That's what my brother had to go through. My sister has to go through. So, my fellow colored folk, my black queens and kings, my goddesses, my gods, if you're hurt, if you're angry, that's okay. Be mad. If you're tired of being mad, consider the balance. If you just don't feel like being angry, like, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to prove yourself or your loyalty to your people. We know. You're black. You're like me. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove yourself to social media. You don't have to prove yourself because you live it every day, no matter how you feel about it. You're black. You don't got to prove that to nobody. They can see it. They clearly see it. If you're angry, be angry. If you're exhausted at being angry, take a break. It's okay. Yes, the fight is every day, but we can take turns. Somebody is still continuing the fight for you. Take your break, come back, switch off. The fight won't end. We'll get there. Anyway, I love you. When you're speaking to another black person, I urge you to speak gently. You don't got to be mad. We don't have to roast each other all the time. Even though it'd be funny as hell. But, like, we don't have to, because that also results in, like, hurt in other people. It results in hurt for them as well. We don't know the person. Just showing love, I think that's my mission. I've found what part of black oppression I want to focus on for me is relearning how to love towards my people. I know how to love everybody else. Why don't I know how to love me? Why don't I know how to love my brother? Why do I have to roast him to show him I love him? Why do I have to roast my sister to show her I love her? Unnecessary. If we want to heal our people, show them love. Just be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. That's part of life. If you get hurt by it, that's part of life. That's emotion. You'll get over it. As long you showed your love, that's what matters. You were gentle with another black person. You showed how change can happen. You fought Jim Crow by showing love towards another black person. I love you, King. I love you, Queen. Listen, I don't know if that's my skin or the tears. I guess that's just my skin. Like, I'm going around and just showing love. Like, of course, everybody else is going to result in it. Or, like, benefit from my love, but this is specifically for black people. I want to show love differently towards my own, because I realize I don't do that enough. I'm rough with them because I know they can handle it, because I know we all grew up the same way, because we all know tough love, and that's it. I don't got to be tough with you. You're gentle. You're a sunflower. You're beautiful. I don't need to be tough with you. So if we can't change the people that surround us, let's work on ourselves. Because I'm seeing how effective it was for me to talk to a brother with love. Because then we came on a mutual ground and I created an ally. Don't get it twisted. If you speak out of line, the popping off will happen. I'm still black. That means I will still tear you apart. I'm still powerful. Love, peace, and sunflowers. Y'all stay beautiful. Yeah.